All right, so our goal here is to discuss map series production in ArcGIS Pro. Okay, so I've created a map showing election results. So let's just look at the map before we do anything else. Oh, that's the wrong one. So this is the main map, and as you can see, I've got the state borders on there, and then each county is symbolized based on red or blue, based on whether Republican or Democratic candidate won, and then the shades of blue and shades of red indicate the percentage that voted for the winner in that case. So I have two actual separate layers here, so I could apply those two separate symbologies. So I have one for the Republicans, and then the Democrats there. So you can see how they're broken up. Okay, so instead of spitting this out as one map of the entire US, what I'd like to do is actually make a separate map for each individual state. And that can be accomplished with map series. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my layout. That's the wrong one. There we go, map one. Or sorry, layout. There we go. So to create a map series, you need to do a couple things. So first off, you go to layout and then properties, and there should be an option here for map series. And then you need to kind of set up how you're defining your pages. So first off, there's a couple options here. I set it to spatial. You can also have like bookmarks that you use to define different extents. So we're just going to set it to spatial. When you do that, you need to grab an index file. So what we're using are the state boundaries. So that's what's going to define each page, is effectively each individual state. You can see the other units come up. If you grab something that was really tiny, like counties, you get a map for every county, which would be, obviously a lot in this case. And then you need a name to select from. So basically every unique state is going to become a page. Again, if you switch this to county and pick the unique county field, you get a separate page for every county. And then the sort, which would have to do with the order. So basically we're going to get a page for each state, and then we're going to we're going to order them alphabetically by the state name, and then the sorted ascending. And there's some other options here for fields and whatnot, scales. We don't really set a lot here, but I'll just point out a few things. Whenever you may want to have your maps be produced at like a decent scale. So here you can set a rounded, so you're basically going to round off the scale to the nearest 1,000. You could maintain the same scale for every map. That's not going to work well in this case because the states are all very different sizes. You could also, if you had a field in your table that specified the desired scale, you could select it. We don't have that here, so we won't set it. You can also set this margin size, which is defined here as a percent, but you can use other units, and that gives you a little bit of a buffer around whatever feature you're mapping on that page, which in this case is going to be the state. And of course, you have to hit enable if you actually want to use it. So anyway, I basically set all this up already. Hit OK there. And then if you want to actually see each individual page, if we click on a map like Alabama here, and we click on this, that'll show you, let me see, why did that not move? There we go, I'm going to switch into Alabama. And if we click on this, you can see all the layers that are in that specific map. So that's what that does. And then you can do by element type. This is drawing order, map frame, breaks the map frames up. And then this last one here, when you have map series enabled, gives you back the series, and you can click on each one and see what it looks like. Okay. And then you can see which page it's assigned to. So here we have 49 overall. Apparently I didn't have one of the states in there. I'm assuming it's Alaska. I'm not sure. It's Alabama. Actually not sure. It seems like it should just be 48. Maybe DC's in there. I'm not sure. That's probably it. Yeah, DC's in there. So Alaska and Hawaii aren't there, but DC is, so 49. Okay, so a couple other things about the map components. So the legends are going to basically be the same throughout. To get this, actually, this may have got converted already. Down here, this is a dynamic text. So you're getting the page number of the count. So it'll change page by page to update to the page number. Again, the scale bar should update, the north arrow. If you look at this, it's also dynamic text. So we've got some plain text here, and then at the end it's going to spit out the name. And I think I had created... Let me see here. Let's go into one of these. Oh, yeah, it looks like this was already converted into a graphic. Is that right? Yeah, it's converted to a graphic. However, oh, never mind. There we go. Just let me see the components. I believe that these values here, the winners and losers, those counts were also derived dynamically. So dynamic text is really useful for map layouts because it allows you to actually update information based on like an attribute or something, right? So you're not just going to have the same thing for every page. Okay, so once you've actually created one of these and you're happy with it, if you go to Share and then Layout, and we use PDF, we should be able to generate a multi-page PDF from this. Where is that? Map Series. So you have to go to the Map Series tab, and then you can give it a range of pages or whatnot. So we're going to do all 49 pages and as a single PDF as opposed to, one PDF for every single page. So I'm just going to, let's just dump it on my desktop. And we'll call this Election Book, and save, and hit export. So note that this can take a while because, you're not just exporting one map, you're exporting, 49. So you can see the count here. It's only on 2. So what I'll do is I'll cut here, and then whenever it's done, we'll have a look at the multi-page output. All right, so we're back now. This took about 3 minutes or so to export out. So as you see, what I ended up with was a PDF file with 149 pages, and each page is a separate state that has the same results. Again, we're seeing update of the text with the dynamic text and the title, the page number, the wins by Republican and Democrat. One thing for consistency, we made sure we kept the same legend on each page and with the same breaks. And again, they're just spitting out here in alphabetical order. The text could use some work, or the county labels. Obviously, that would be a lot of work if you wanted to do it manually. But that was kind of outside the scope of this. Okay, so a couple of notes on this before we end. So first off, if you're producing something like this, you may want to create other pages, and this might get embedded with some text or reports or graphics or whatever. Generally, if you have a lot of pages, it's good to create an index page either as text, or you could create like a map index. So for example, for this, we could create a map of the country and put like the associated page number in each state, so you know where each state occurs. You could also generate like a cover or title page and then merge those PDF files into one large document.